Hello, Catherine. A moment of your time.
Oh, it's you. Yes?
That sword you wear upon your hip, how did you come by it, exactly?
I don't appreciate your tone. Are you implying I swiped it off someone?
Not at all, but heroes' relics are typically passed down through the bloodlines of the 10 elites. You are descended from a noble family, are you not?
That's none of your business.
Actually,
Let's say I was a nobody, with no relic, no crest. I would still be me, wouldn't I? That's not to say lineage counts for nothing. It just doesn't count as much as how you lived your life and what you live for. Or, let's say I was descended from some noble house. Would that change how you treat me?
yes, it would. To treat you differently from the common folk would only be appropriate.
You're so narrow-minded, tied down by foolish, antiquated notions.
But the nobility and the common folk are different. If the few did not have capabilities to set them apart from the many, then they would not be the few.
Wow. You really think nobles are better than everyone else, don't you?
I didn't mean to suggest...
You pay so much attention to people's lineage and status that you have no idea who they actually are. Even if I was from the prestigious house whatever, I would never associate with a blowhard like you.
Your swordplay is captivating, exceedingly graceful, yet mindful to guard the weaknesses that often accompany such elegant flourishes.
Lorenz, are you spying on me? That's not very noble.
It was rude of me to watch so long in silence, I do confess. Yet I could not bring myself to interrupt. I believe that such a deep grasp of swordplay can only mean that you have experienced the privilege of a noble birth.
You just don't let up. I didn't inherit my sword skills, Lorenz. I trained. I earned them.
One's lineage does not affect one's talent or tenacity, to be sure. But a noble is raised in an environment more conducive to the honing of martial skill. Those brought up in the lap of luxury are blessed with a far wider variety of options for their futures. And a noble raised in that fashion is better equipped to keep the peace for the common folk.
Sure. And besides keeping the peace, what are the nobility's other duties?
Matters of state for a start. A noble has the ability to declare war, for instance. A commoner does not. And a noble who carries the blessing of a crest has even more power. One move from such an individual can exert massive influence. Of course, such influence must only be wielded with discretion. It is a noble's duty to use power wisely.
Whether or not it's their duty, if they don't use their power wisely, the people will revolt.
Indeed. The motivation to revolt can only come from discontent with the nobility. But if the people are well protected and enjoy peaceful and happy lives, there is no such motive. Thus, if such a revolt does occur, the nobility must be held accountable.
The nobility must be held accountable, I never thought I'd find myself agreeing with you. Maybe you're not as bad as I thought. In fact, I'll let you in on a secret. I am from a noble family, House Karen of Fargus. I used to be known as Cassandra Rubens Karen. Perhaps you've heard that name before?
House Karen? It cannot be! Are you the one who was driven from Fargus for some grave crime?
So people say. However, I didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, how do you rate me now? On one hand, I am a noble, but I'm also a fugitive.
I see. Well then. Will you do me the honor of a bout?
So you'd like to suss me out with your sword? Sure, I'll take you on. Let's put the match on hold for now, Lorenz. Or if you can't wait, we'll say you won.
No. Let us resume it later. You haven't yet had the chance to use Thunderbrand.
You weren't using a relic either. If you had been, you would have won easily. Even without it, you're stronger than I expected. You seem to be fighting more intensely than usual.
Under ordinary circumstances, I'd have surely lost. but I had a vested interest in testing your character. If your swordplay relied at all on the dirty tricks of a fugitive, I would have felt compelled to defeat you.
Are you saying you fought more ably because you had a sense of purpose?
Not as such, although I admit that when we crossed blades, I became envious of your strength. I caught a glimpse, in your elegant swordsmanship, of an aspect of the noble ideal that I yet lack. That envy is perhaps what drove me to fight so hard.
Interesting.
I was also able to satisfy my curiosity. You are no criminal, but rather a lady of great conviction.
That might be an exaggeration. I've done some things I'm not proud of.
Modest as ever. Another of your noble qualities.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm no longer a noble.
Whatever your title, the responsible use of power is the very hallmark of nobility. Deny it all you like. The way I see it, you are indeed a true noble.
I don't want to be a true noble. I won't be tied down by any stuffy idea of nobility. Although, if this is your way of flirting with me, perhaps I can be persuaded otherwise.
That's rather sudden.
Tell me, Lorenz, do you often woo noble women? As a true noble, I must be an ideal target for a fellow like you.
Since you put it that way, apologies, but I confess you've rendered me quite speechless.
Lighten up. I'm just teasing. You're clearly not ready to woo me.
Not ready? Do I not suffice for you? Is there some flaw that I could conceivably correct?
You're more open-minded than you used to be, but you're still so hung up on status and lineage. If you became a more tolerant person, maybe it would work out. What matters isn't someone's blood, it's what they want, what they fear, what they accomplish. When you understand that, let me know, and I might just fall for you.
Just wait and you shall see, Catherine. I fully intend to live up to the very highest of your standards.